This exercise is promote the plantar flexion of your toes, which is essentially that motion. So how well can you pull down? Some people, the most they can pull down, there's still a bend here. We want at least a straight line, aiming for that, which means that you can kneel on your heels with no pain. So people can have pain in the back of the heel when they do that. That's a posterior impingement. It can be opened up. They may have just total tightness down the front of the leg, and there'll be pain in the midfoot too. The fibula moves like this, so it's got that kind of motion. So it's affected at the knee and at the ankle. Then when you push the foot, it does that kind of motion. So it's affecting the internal and external rotation of the tibia plus the movement of the fibula. So less movement in the ankle and the foot means affected here. So you can help knee problems tremendously by opening up the ankles and the feet, just the same as if you open up the hips, it affects knee problems tremendously for the positive too. So some ways that you can work with this range of motion. So we'll do the most advanced version first, then we'll regress it. So I've got my feet together, knees together, I'm sitting on my heels, and then I'm pushing through my fingers, or I can have some yoga blocks or something to prop me up if I need to. And then I'm breathing out, getting all the air out. So it's like so making that sound like you're fogging up a mirror. It gets the obliques to work. So this is called compression, gear compression in the core. And then I'm lifting. So I'm stretching the front of my ankles here. There should be zero pain with this. And come back down. Try again. Bring in, out. And I'm doing 10 reps of that, 3 sets of 10, really good way to do. You may find that's way too strong, and a lot of people will find that. Way you can regress it is to roll up a towel, then roll it thicker if needed. Then you're putting that right where the ankle is. So the ankle's not in as much plantar flexion. So there's some support there now. And it may just be, you just sit here, so you spend time here, releasing that. You can try doing the version we just did, the advanced version. So I'm breathing out, then I'm lifting up, and back down. You can try that, 3 sets of 10 again, and then spend some time just sitting here again. Way you can make this more useful in that time that you're sitting here is get a tennis ball or a trigger point ball. The tibialis anterior muscle comes down here. Tibial tuberosity is here, so the most pointy bit of my knee here. 3 fingers width below and to the side. You just feel the meatiness of the muscle here. Just feel around, so you don't want any hard bits. The meatiness of the muscle. When you push, people often feel it go down through here. That's the trigger point referral zone. Pop that there. Then you're just hanging out, so you're putting some pressure there. It'll actually increase some internal rotation in your tibia, which is good. When the knee bends, the tibia should roll inwards. It's just something that happens. It's a coupling motion. Then when you straighten your leg, the tibia rolls outwards. So when I do this and put pressure here, it's actually naturally giving an internal rotation to the tibia too. So you find you can increase the knee bend, so it's much easier to do. And as I do that, it feels really good. It can be really painful for some people, just put less pressure. But I can actually put more pressure in, and I feel the referral go right down to the big toe. So that's just the referral pattern. So we'll hang out there for maybe 20-30 seconds or 5 to 10 breaths. Change side. Doing the same thing, putting a bit more pressure in that side. And that'll release the muscle. Some other ways of increasing plantar flexion is pointing your foot. So like kicking your foot into the ground, pointing it, then letting it drop out to the side. This will stretch through here, it'll stretch through the ankle here. It's very good for lateral compartment syndromes, pain syndromes in the side of the foot. So I've got that stretch going like that. So holding that for 10 to 20 seconds, 4 lots, do both sides as well. And then the most easiest version is I'm just sitting down and I'm just pointing my feet as much as I can, really trying to get the toes to arch over as if they're going to touch the ground. And I can pull them back up, push again, really try to get the joints over. And doing foot mobilizations where you're using either a tennis ball or a trigger point ball, and doing this without shoes, of course. I'm rolling from outside to inside, putting pressure through the arch of the foot, taking pressure off. Doing that at least 3 times. And I go a little bit further up my foot, pressure as I turn it out. 3 times, and go a little bit higher up the foot over the metatarsal heads. 3 times. That'll mobilise the bottom of the foot, releasing 5 layers of muscle, 5 layers of tissues underneath the foot. And then when you do this, the joints can be more mobilised, and you find you can get more movement over. So ballet dancers, when they do this, because they've done so much training, the feet will actually bow, so they could actually literally touch their toes to the floor here. So they need that for on-point training. So that's how you can regress and get movement through here. So if you reduce movement, before you can straighten your foot, is foot even that, for example, as far as you can straighten your foot. The knee is influenced by that in a negative way. The hip is influenced by it too, because it affects push off when you're walking.